Good morning, children. Welcome to today's class. As you all know, in the last class, we have revised the lesson reproduction in plants. The first lesson, reproduction in plants. Is it not? I hope everybody would have understood, because it was like the revision for you. So once it was done, since the book was changed, again I repeated in the last class. So it would be like revision for you. Is it not? Yes. So as a homework, I had given you fill in the blanks. I think you would have written that. Is it not? Okay. Now, there is small correction, children, in the fill in the blanks which I gave you. In the first question, I had given, make a note, most plants, the first one, most plants reproduce from okay. So what was the answer I had given? I had given as stems. From the stem part also plant can be grown, but since it is given most, so it is from the seeds. Small correction, children, make it. The first question, most plants reproduce from seeds. You should write. In place of stems, you should write it as seeds. Corrected? Okay. Now, as I said, the first lesson was completed in the last class. Now we'll move to the second lesson. Okay? Yes. Yes. So, in the first lesson, you had studied about the plants, is it not? Now, in the second lesson, we'll move to the animals. So, you know that the earth is home for most of the living beings, not most, all living beings. It is like the home. So, plants grow on the earth. We human beings live on the earth. Animals also live on the earth. So, for all the living beings, earth is like a home. So, on the earth, we can see animals, huge animals, different kinds of animals. So, you can see huge animals, small animals, and animals or those which cannot be seen through our naked eyes. These huge animals can be seen, or the small animals also can be seen. Apart from this, there are animals which cannot be seen through the naked eyes. Okay, so through our eyes we cannot see. It is present, but we cannot see. Okay, so in this class, in this today's lesson, we'll study about those animals which cannot be seen through the naked eyes. What we call those animals and what are its kinds, how, whether it is useful or whether it's harmful for us, we'll see all those things. Okay, so as I said, animals are huge, small, and which those animals are so tiny which cannot be seen. Okay, so those animals which cannot be seen through our naked eyes are called as microbes or microorganisms. Okay, so in this today's lesson we'll study about the microbes. Okay, so the second lesson is the world of microbes. The world of microbes. Okay. Yes. So as I said, there are different varieties of animals on the earth. So it can be grouped as large, huge animals, small animals, and the animals which are very tiny. Tiny. That is, they are so tiny, its presence is there, but we cannot see it. So such tiny organisms are there. So that we cannot see through the naked eyes. Okay, so such animals are called as tiny organisms. They are called as microorganisms, or microbes. What are they called? Microorganisms, or they are also called as microbes. So what are they? They are the tiny organisms which cannot be seen, through naked eyes. Okay. naked eyes. They cannot be seen through the naked eyes. So those organisms are called as microorganisms or microbes. Then how can we say that those microorganisms or microbes are present? Okay, so it can be seen under an instrument called microscope. What is that instrument? You might have all seen that microscope. So under this microscope, if we on glass, if we put those organisms and see a lens will be there in that microscope. So if we see through the lens, so the tiny organisms will enlarge in size, becomes bigger, and you can see them. Okay, so through that instrument called microorganisms, you can see these microorganisms or microbes. They are so tiny, with our naked eyes they cannot be seen. Okay, so these microorganisms are present everywhere. They are everywhere around us. So we can see these microorganisms in the water, in the soil, in the food we eat, in the air. So everywhere its presence is there. So microorganisms can be seen in the water, it can be seen in the soil, it can be seen in the food, it can be seen in the air. So everywhere its presence is there. Okay, so microorganisms is present in all those things. It is seen everywhere. It is present in the water, soil, food. As I said, it cannot be seen. Okay. So since these are very tiny organisms, it can be seen under the microscope, I said. So this microorganisms, it needs, what is their food is, so it needs, it feeds on, or it requires food, it requires moisture, that is wet, moisture, and then oxygen and suitable temperature. Okay, so what it needs food, it needs moisture, it needs oxygen, and it needs suitable temperature for its growth. To become, to multiply, you can say. That is not your maths, multiply. That means to become double or to become more. So it needs food, moisture, oxygen, and suitable temperature. So when the microorganisms gets all these, when it gets food, when it gets moisture, oxygen, it multiplies. Okay. So these microorganisms are present everywhere, I said. So depending on this or how it is useful, there are two types of microorganisms. One is good for our health and one which cause damage for our health. Okay. So there is this. So the one which is present, which is good for health or microorganisms. So what for it is useful is, it helps in digestion. It helps in digestion. So microorganisms are present inside and outside our body also. As I said, it is present in the air, it is present in the water, soil. So few organisms are present in the intestine. So in our intestine, which is good for our body. So why it is good? So it helps in digestion. Okay. So microorganisms which are present in the intestine helps in the digestion of the food. Okay. And there are few organisms which cause diseases, or which harm our health by causing different diseases. We'll see what are the diseases it causes. Okay. So by causing different diseases, it harms our health. So those organisms are called, those microorganisms are called as germs, or it is also called as pathogens. They are also called as pathogens. Okay, so microorganisms are of two types. So one which is present in the intestine, which is going to help us in digestion. The other one which is present outside the outside, and it causes diseases. It harms our health. So such diseases are called, such microorganisms are called as germs or pathogens. Okay, so as I said, these microorganisms, when it gets the food, sunlight, proper sunlight, and then oxygen and moisture, it can multiply. That means it can become double. It can increase its number. So that is why we can say that on the earth, so the microorganisms or the microbes are more than the human beings. Okay, so if we don't take care of our health, so if we don't follow some prevent measures so that to be healthy, so the microorganisms will increase, will go on increasing. So once we eat the chocolate, that is why our parents will say to brush the teeth. So because the chocolate can go and stick to your teeth, and that decays there and increases the microorganisms in the mouth, which will result in the decay of the tooth. Then your teeth will fall down. So like that in our body also, if we don't maintain hygiene, if we don't maintain cleanliness, so the microorganisms can enter our body by one or the other ways. So if we are not maintaining healthy, if we are not cleanliness, we are not maintaining hygiene, so if we are not eating proper food, so all these are responsible for the microorganisms to enter our body and our health will spoil. Okay, so that is why, so in order to be healthy, we should take care of our health. It is in our hands only. So we should be clean so that the microorganisms will not enter into our body and cause damage, harm our health. Okay, so till this much you have understood, is it not? So the tiny organisms which are present on the earth, which cannot be seen through our naked eyes, are called as microorganisms or microbes, and it can be seen under an instrument called microscope. And there are microorganisms inside and outside our body. So the one which is present inside in the intestine are good for our health, which helps in the digestion of the food and which cause diseases. There are organisms which cause diseases. They are called as germs or pathogens. So by maintaining hygiene, by being clean, by maintaining hygiene, so we can avoid the microorganisms entering into our body and in turn to be healthy. Understood this much? So as I said, the microorganisms, if we are not healthy, so then I told you that microorganisms will increase, it multiplies, I said. That means it becomes double. So if we are taking care of our health, now if we are careful, if we are maintaining hygiene, so then we will be free from microorganisms. Okay, so this much did you understand? Yes. Now they not only harm the teeth, as I said, when you eat the chocolate, if you don't brush, not only chocolate, any food after you eat. So they say that is why before going to sleep, after dinner also, you have to brush the teeth so that the food, whatever you have it, is not stuck in between, and that causes the decaying of the tooth. And the food what we eat also, it should be fresh, clean, and fresh, as I said. So we should not eat stale food. So stale food means, so if we freshly prepared food only we should eat. So eating the food which is cooked the previous day, that should not be done. Why? Because that food, on those food, the microorganisms will start growing and it may smell foul. The food will get spoiled and it may smell foul. So we get a foul smell from that food. So if we eat such food, then microorganisms will enter into our body. And if we don't wash the hands before eating, So we would have touched so many things while playing, writing, so many work we do. So we touch so many things. So if we don't wash our hands before eating, so then microorganisms, as I said, it is present everywhere. It is all around us. So we don't know by how the microorganisms will enter into our body. Now the present situation, this corona only we have, is it not? So that is why they say often we should be washing the hands, we should maintain distance, and then we should wear mask. So social distance should be maintained and use sanitizer, all those things. Now the current situation we are facing. So can we see that microorganism, it is not naked, but so when we get that symptoms, when we get fever or cold, headache, then we'll come to know, then we go for test, and they find out whether it is there or not, is it not? So if we are careful, unnecessary, we say don't go out, be in your house, we say stay home, stay safe, is it not? And then suppose if it is necessary to go out, then only we should go out. Once we go out also, there should be social distance maintained, so we should be far from others. And then as soon as we come home, we should wash our hands, legs, apply sanitizer, put sanitizer, all those things we say. So why? Because the microorganisms, we don't know, it is naked, I said, we cannot see entering into our body, that virus entering into our body. So without our knowledge only it enters. So if we are careful and if we are hygiene, if we are maintaining hygiene, cleanliness, then we will be free from microorganisms, so that our body will be in the healthy condition. So if we are healthy only, then we can do any work, whatever work we want or whatever it is. So only if our health permits, then only we can do everything. So it will be our first duty to maintain healthy, our body to keep in a healthy condition. Okay, so as I said, microorganisms enter into our body by so many ways. If we don't eat the food properly, if we don't take bath properly, if we don't wear washed clothes, or if we don't comb our hair, cut the nails, we don't know, in between the nails, so the microorganisms might be there. So if we eat the food, by chance, microorganisms can enter into our body, or many of them are in a habit of eating the outside food. So they would have kept it exposed, that is, they would have not covered. So we don't know, the mosquitoes, flies, wherever on dirty places it would have sat, and the same thing would have come and sit on that cut fruits, or the this golgappa, all those things you eat on the roadside, is it not? So if we eat all those things, naturally the microorganisms will enter into our body and spoil our health. So it is in our hands to avoid the microorganisms entering into our body. So what is the main thing we have to do? We have to maintain cleanliness, hygiene. So if we are maintaining hygiene, then there is no chance that microorganisms will enter into our body. Okay, so I think you have all understood. Now at least, so before eating food, wash your hands, or drink plenty of water properly, and that water also should be covered, should be kept covered, so that the dirt, flies will not enter into the vessel in which the water is kept. And avoid eating outside food. So whatever your mother would have prepared, fresh, clean, okay, so that food only you eat, so that your health will be in a good condition. Okay, yes, so all this you studied about the microorganisms. Now next we'll study about the different types of microorganisms. So basically there are 4 types of microorganisms, 4 kinds of microorganisms. So microorganisms can be divided into 4 types. 4 types of, or kinds, or types you can write. Types of microbes or microorganisms. Microorganisms. Okay, it's better you write kinds only. Better than types. It's better to write kinds. So kinds of microorganisms. Okay. So what are the 4 kinds of microorganisms? First one is bacteria. Second one is protozoa. Second one is protozoa. Third one, fungi. And fourth one is virus. Fourth one is virus. So these are the 4 kinds of microorganisms. Okay. First is bacteria. Second, protozoa. Third, fungi. And then fourth is virus. Okay. We'll study these microorganisms one by one. Okay. So today we'll study about bacteria. First kind, bacteria. Okay. So as I said, this microorganisms is present everywhere. So even this bacteria also is present everywhere. It is present everywhere. It is all around us. It is present everywhere. Okay. So they are found everywhere on the earth. Yes. So, as I said, when it gets the right amount of food, moisture, oxygen and warmth, sunlight, it is going to double, I said. So, in the surrounding, in the environment also, there are many bacteria. Okay. So, when it gets the right amount, I said it is going to double. Now, how it is how these are also tiny organisms only, very tiny organisms which cannot be seen through the naked eye, and under microscope only you can see. Now, when I write the letter I or small letter I and I put a dot on it. So imagine that. So when I am talking about the dot, how small you write, is it not the dot? So on this dot only there can be thousands of bacteria. There can be thousands of bacteria on the dot of the letter I. So tiny it is. It cannot be seen through the naked eye. Okay. So on the dot, not on the letter I am talking, only on the dot of that letter, there can be thousands of bacteria. Okay. So imagine how tiny it is, how small it is. So will you be able to see in this? If imagine that thousands are there, how small it might be, is it not? So there are thousands of bacteria, and just like dot of the letter I, there are thousands. So we can imagine how tiny these organisms are there. Okay, and then what are their food, or how it is going to double? I said when it gets the food, it is going to multiply, I said. So it is going to live on or eat food on the living beings, living things, living creatures. It is going to feed on the living creatures. So its food is the living creature, living organisms, or the decaying matter. Decaying matter. So what is decaying? That is rotting, or it might be the plants, the leaves, or the plant part. So decaying matter, it is going to feed on that. That is only its food. So it might be on the plants, it might be on the animals, on the decaying matter it is going to feed. Okay. So this bacteria is single-celled organism. Single-celled organism. Okay. It is single-celled organism. So what do you mean by single-celled, or what do you mean by cell, first of all? Okay. Cell is the structural, that means it has some basic shape, structural and the functional unit of a body. functional unit of a body. So it performs certain functions in our body. So all the living organisms have cell. So in few organisms it has only one cell, or in many organisms it has two, or in few it has many. Okay, so this bacteria has one cell, so that is why it is called as single celled organism, and it comes in different shapes. So there is no particular shape for that, so it has different shapes. Okay, it has different shapes. It will come in different shapes. So what are the different shapes of that? So sometimes it might be round, sometimes it might be round like this, so like this, or sometimes it is rod shaped, it might be like this. Okay, rod shaped it might be, or sometimes spherical shape like this, like this. Okay, so there will be different shapes for that bacteria. So it can be a round shape like this, or the rod shape, or the spherical shape like this. So it comes in different shapes. So bacteria is a single celled organism. That means it has one cell. So what do you mean by cell? It is a structural and the functional unit of a body which every organism has. Okay, and then it comes in different shapes. As I said, it can be round in shape, rod like shape, or spherical. Okay, and then as I said, microorganisms are present inside our body also, and it is present outside our body also. So the one which is present inside our body helps in the digestion. So even this bacteria also helps in digestion. The organisms helps in digesting food. Okay, so some bacteria living inside our body help us in digestion, and some are used to make cheese, curd, etc. Now you might have seen in your house your mother preparing curd. Your mother preparing curd. So how does she do? In your textbook also, when you get your textbook, you have an activity here, activity 1. So you can see that. Follow these simple steps under your mother's guidance. You can also try this, okay? Ask your mother to pour some lukewarm milk into a bowl, okay? And then add 1 teaspoon curd into the milk and cover the bowl and leave it for 6 to 7 hours. Can you guess what you have made? Yes, you have curd ready to eat. So how this happens is, it is bacteria which is responsible for that. Changing milk into curd. Changing milk into curd. So this bacteria is responsible. What is that bacteria name is? Lactobacillus. Bacillus. Okay, Lactobacillus. 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 So this is the name of the bacteria which is responsible for turning milk into curd. Okay, so this is how the bacteria is useful, I said. So it helps in the digestion, in the intestine. As I said, the microorganisms are helpful and it harms our health also. So the bacteria which is helpful is, it helps in the digestion. In the intestine it is present, it helps in the digestion of the food. And it also helps in making a few things such as beer, then cheese, curd, in the preparation of all these things. So that is why when you put lukewarm milk and add 1 or 2 spoons of curd to it and leave it for 6 to 7 hours, After that, if you see that milk, whatever the lukewarm milk, whatever you have put, it would have turned into curd, and lactobacillus is responsible for that. Okay, so these bacteria are helpful also, and some bacteria are even as I said, it helps in it feeds on the decaying animals and plants, I said. So since it feeds on the decayed dead plants and animals, it feeds on dead plants and animals, this bacteria. So by feeding that, or it is going to make it into smaller pieces, so that the dead plants and animal part, anything if it is, so it will get mixed in the soil and it will become like a nutrients, and it helps in keeping our earth clean. Okay, so these are some of the uses of bacteria. So it is responsible, it is helpful in the digestion of the food in the intestine, and it is used in the preparation of beer, curd and cheese. And since it feeds on the dead plants and animals, by eating that or by breaking into smaller pieces, it will allow those dead plants and animals to get mixed in the soil, which will act like a nutrient for the plants to be grown and helps in keeping the earth clean. So these are some of the uses of bacteria. I said microorganisms are harmful also. So if we don't maintain hygiene, if we don't follow cleanliness, there are chances that microorganisms can enter into our body through the food what we eat, through the air what we breathe, and through the water what we drink. So it can cause diseases also. So what are the diseases caused by the bacteria is, so it can cause diseases like typhoid. It can cause diseases like typhoid, tuberculosis, then cholera, then fourth is tetanus, and next is pneumonia. Okay, so all these diseases, so that is typhoid is fever, vomiting, dysentery, like that, and tuberculosis is continuous coughing, and cholera, tetanus and pneumonia is you will not be able to breathe properly. So why you will not be able to breathe properly? If you take the impure air. So if smoke, dirt enters into the lungs, so the lungs will be blocked and you will not be able to breathe properly. So all these diseases are caused by the contaminated food and water, or air also. Food, water and air. Okay, so all these diseases, typhoid, tuberculosis, cholera, tetanus, pneumonia, all these are from contaminated food, water and air. So why it causes, why by the contaminated food, water and air it causes is because we are not maintaining hygiene, we are not eating proper food, we are not drinking clean water, we are not breathing fresh air. So because of all these things, microorganisms will enter into our body and we get the disease typhoid, tuberculosis, cholera, tetanus and pneumonia. Okay, so if we maintain hygiene, cleanliness, then our body will be in a healthy condition by not allowing the microorganisms to enter. Okay, now this, when I am talking about bacteria, it is group. Okay, bacteria. When I say about one, so it is called as bacterium. It is one bacterium. Okay, so for this single bacterium to divide to divide into many, it can just take 20 minutes. It is not only two, to divide it into many. For a bacterium to become into bacteria, it can just take 20 minutes. So for a 20 minutes, so one bacteria can produce, okay, to divide, and it can produce 1 lakh bacteria. Okay, so to divide bacterium to become into bacteria, so it just takes 20 minutes. Okay, so imagine how fast it is dividing, how fast it is growing. As I said, on the earth, the number, if you take the number wise, so human beings are less than the microorganisms. Microorganisms are only more. Okay, so this is about the first kind of microorganism, bacteria. Okay, so in the next class we'll move to the other 3. Okay, so I think you have understood about the microorganisms, where it is found, how it is going to damage our health, and how it is useful, and the different kinds of microorganisms. And today we studied about bacteria. So in the next class we'll see other 3. Okay, so now I'm going to give the homework, today's assignment. I'll write the fill in the blanks on the board. Just copy it, again write it thrice. So when I give the assignment, when I write it on the board, that time itself you can write it once. So other 2 times it will be easy for you to write. Okay. So when I give the homework, copy it in your homework book only, so that it is helpful for you to write other 2 times, or you will not lose it. Afterwards, don't think where I have written. So it is better you copy it in your homework book itself. Fill in the blanks. So it is about this lesson only I am giving, fill in the blanks. Okay. The first one, we cannot see microbes. We cannot see microbes with our naked eyes. Why? Because they are so tiny. So it cannot be seen through the naked eyes. Second, the microbes that cause disease are called germs or pathogens. Third, microbes multiply quickly when they get conditions that are suitable for them. That are suitable for them. That is, when they get oxygen, when they get food, when they get the correct amount of temperature, they will multiply. Okay. So I'll rub this heading and the name of the lesson. One more I'll write. Fourth, one more. Bacteria are single celled. That means it has only one cell. Single celled microbes and have different shapes. Okay. So these four you have to write 3 times. Got it? So I'll repeat it again. We cannot see microbes with our naked eyes. Second, the microbes that cause disease are called germs or pathogens. Third, microbes multiply quickly when they get conditions that are suitable for them. And fourth, bacteria are single-celled microbes and have different shapes. So these four fill in the blanks. You have to write 3 times and submit it. So here I am going to stop today's class. In the next class, we will continue with the lesson with the different kinds of microbes. Today you studied about 1 bacteria. So other 3 will study it in the next class. Until then, take care, do your homework and submit it. Thank you, students.